How's it going? Today we're going to be making a background music player. This allows us to control the music in our world using a UI toggle and a UI slider. Let me show you how it works. So you can play the music, you can pause the music, and you can control the music volume using the UI slider below. Also, if you'd like to use the music symbol sprite that you see here, instead of the standard Unity checkmark, you can download that using the link in the description, and I'll show you how to put that in. In other news, big news actually, I now have a Ko-Fi store. So not just this tutorial, but every tutorial I've made so far now has a prefab. So if you'd like to purchase the product instead of making it, that is available. Alrighty, so that's the intro. Let's get to it. Once you've downloaded the music symbol sprite, drag and drop it into the assets folder. Then, select import. Let's begin by making the background music canvas. Go to the hierarchy, right-click, UI, Canvas. Rename the canvas to Background Music Layer. Go to its inspector. Then, change the layer from UI to default. Change the render mode from screen space overlay to world space. Then, change the dynamic pixels from 1 to 5. As for its transform, change the width to 80 and its height to 60. Then, change the scale to 0.01, 5.01, 5.01. Next, press Ctrl-Shift-F to bring the canvas close to you. Then fix its rotation by setting it to 0 by 0 by 0. Next, let's add an audio source. Go to the hierarchy, right-click, Create Empty. Rename the empty to Song Audio Source. Select the background music player. Then, copy the position of its transform. Go to the song audio source and paste the position into the transform. Now the player and the audio source are in the same place in the world. Under Audio Source, select Add Component, then search for VRC Spatial Audio Source. Under the source, deselect Spatialize. Deselect Play on Awake. Select Loop. Change the volume roll-off from logarithmic to linear. Then change the minimum distance to 0.1. Scroll down to Advanced Options. Under Advanced Options, deselect Enable Spatialization. After that, set the song audio source as a child of the background music player. Next, let's add a UI background color for aesthetic purposes. Select the background music player. Right-click, go to UI, Image. Rename the image to UI Background Color. Under the UI background color, change the width to 80 and change the height to 60. Under the source image, select it and choose the sprite you like. For me, I'm going to be going with the UI sprite. As for its color, I'm going to change its alpha to 150, then change the color itself to a light gray. Let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good. Next, let's add a volume slider. Select the background music player. Right-click, UI, Slider. Rename the slider to Volume Slider. Go to the inspector for the volume slider.
Then change the scale to 0.45 by 0.45 by 0.45. Go to the slider module and change the navigation from automatic to none. As for the max value, change it from 1 to 0.99999. After that, select Add Component, then search for Udon Behavior. Then add a Udon Behavior component. After that, lower the volume slider to the bottom of your canvas. In order to be able to interact with our volume slider, we need to add a VRC UI shape. Go to Add Component, then search for VRC UI shape. Next, let's add a toggle to control our background music. Select the background music player. Right-click, UI, Toggle. Rename the toggle to Background Music Toggle. Under the Background Music Toggle Inspector, change the width to 80. Scroll down to the toggle module and change the navigation from automatic to none. Verify that Is On is selected. After that, select Add Component and add an Udon behavior. Then, add component again and search for VRC UI shape. Next, let's start organizing the UI for our toggle. Select the background music toggle, then open up its hierarchy. Go to Background. Under Background, select the Rect Transform. Then hold down Alt and select the middle and center symbol. After that, go down to Label and do the same. Select the Rect Transform, Alt, Middle, and Center. Move the label up and out of the way. Go to Checkmark. For me, I'm going to change the checkmark to a music symbol, but you can leave it as the checkmark if you like. Select the source image, then search for music symbol. Change the color from white to black. Then change the scale 0.8 by 0.8 by 0.8. Then center it. Go down to Label. Then, under the text, name it to whatever you like. For me, I'm going to name it BGM. Go down to the font style and change it from normal to bold. Then, under alignment, change it to center and middle. Then under color, change it to white. Next, let's write the Udon graph scripts. Go to your Assets folder. Right-click, Create, VRChat, Udon, Udon Graph Program Asset. Rename the graph to Music, Toggle, Script. Then open up the graph. In the graph, go to the Variables tab, hit the plus icon, and search for audio source. Rename the audio source variable to song audio source. Hit the drop-down, select public, and then compile. Next, let's make our actual graph. To help organize our script, I went ahead and made two groups. The first being on start play song, and the second toggle BGM. If you'd like to create a group for yourself, right click on the graph, create group, Then, rename the group to whatever you like. If you no longer want the group, highlight it, then select Delete on your keyboard. Let's begin with onStart Play Song. Hit the spacebar, then search for Event Start. Then, hit the spacebar again and search for Audio Source. Under Audio Source, search for Play. Then, drag and drop the song audio source variable into your graph. Then connect it to the play node. Next, let's fill out the toggle BGM group. Hit the spacebar, then search for Custom Event. Name the custom event Toggle BGM. Then, spacebar, and search for a branch node. Let's create a condition for our branch node. Spacebar, audio source, and under audio source, search for Get is Playing. Then, drag and drop the song audio source variable into the graph and connect it to the Get is Playing node. After that, spacebar, audio source, and under audio source, search for Pause. Connect the Pause node into the true branch of the branch node. Then, drag and drop the song audio source variable into your group and connect it to the instance. Hit the spacebar again and search for audio source, and then search for Unpause. Connect the false branch into the Unpause node. Then do the same with the song audio source variable. And that's about it for your music toggle script. Now that we've made a script to control the toggle for our background music, let's create a script that controls the volume slider. Go to your Assets folder, right-click, Create, VRChat, Udon Graph Program Asset. Rename the new script to Volume Slider Script. Then, open up the graph. Once you're in the graph, go to the Variables tab. Then, hit the plus icon and search for Audio Source. Rename the audio source variable to Song Audio Source. Hit the drop-down and select Public. Hit the plus icon again, then search for Slider. Then rename the slider variable to Volume Slider. Hit the drop-down and select Public. Then hit Compile. In order to organize our volume slider script, I went ahead and made two groups. The first being onStart Set Volume, and the second onSlide Set Volume. Let's begin with onStart Set Volume. Hit the spacebar, then search for Event Start. Hit the spacebar again and search for Audio Source. Under Audio Source, search for Set Volume. Drag and drop the song audio source variable into your graph, then connect it to the Set Volume node. your spacebar again, then search for UI slider. Under UI slider, search for Get Value. Then, drag and drop the volume slider variable into the graph. Then connect it to the Get Value node. Next, let's fill out the on-slide set volume group. Hit the spacebar, then search for Custom Event. Rename the custom event to Adjust Volume. Then, hit the spacebar, search up audio source, and under audio source, search for Set Volume. Then, drag and drop the audio source variable into your graph and connect it to the Set Volume node. Hit the spacebar again and search for UI slider. Under UI slider, search for Get Value. Then, connect it to the Set Volume node. Drag and drop the volume slider variable into your graph and connect it to the Get Value node. And that's about it for your volume slider script. Now that we've completed our graphs, let's apply them to the background music player. Select the volume slider. Scroll down to the Udon behavior, then drag and drop the volume slider script into the program source. Once it populates, drag and drop the song audio source into the song audio source variable. Then, drag and drop the volume slider into the volume slider variable. Scroll up to the slider module. Then, press the plus icon under the On Value Change Single. Drag and drop the volume slider into the object slot. Select the dropdown, Udon behavior, then scroll down until you see Send Custom Event String. Next, let's copy and paste the custom event string from our graph. Copy and paste. After that, change the value to 0.2. This will make sure that we have volume to our music when the game starts. And that about does it for our volume slider. Let's apply our scripts to the background music toggle. Select the background music toggle. Then, scroll down to the Udon behavior. Drag and drop the music toggle script into the program source. Once it populates, drag and drop the song audio source into the song audio source variable. After that, scroll up to the toggle module. Then, select the plus icon under On Value Changed. Drag and drop the background music toggle into the object slot. Select the dropdown, Udon behavior, and scroll down until you see Send Custom Event String. After that, copy and paste the custom event string into the slot. Open the graph, copy, and paste. And that about does it for our music toggle. Next, let's apply our music to our background music player. Select the song audio source. Then, drag and drop the song that you've chosen into the audio clip slot. Let's run a test of our background music player That way, we can verify that our volume slider and our background music toggle are functioning. Hit the play button.
So let's go over how our Udon works. For our volume slider script, we order the script to set the volume of the audio source to the value of the volume slider at the start of every instance. For our situation, we had set the value of our volume slider to 0.2, so in turn, the volume of our audio source is also set to 0.2, or 20% at the start of every instance. Then, whenever we move the slider, it triggers the custom event, and in turn, the audio source volume is updated to the most recent value of the volume slider. As for our music toggle script, we've ordered it to play the audio source at the start of every instance. Then, whenever the toggle is used, it triggers the custom event, which checks if the audio source is playing, and then inversely pauses or unpauses the music. And that is how the Udon works. Well, that's about it for a background music player. Thank you for your time, and I hope this video was helpful to you. See you on the next one.